Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect. We've got Pile on Czech Pile versus Jeff on Turbo Depths here, and a Thoughtseize versus a Deathrite Shaman so far. Snapcaster coming down. And a 3-mana play, Snapcaster plus Flashback on the Ponder. Pile showing 2 cards left, 3 cards in hand, now 4 off the Ponder. 2 of them are lands, though. And Turbo Depths, quite a lot to handle. A lot of ways of creating a 2020 Merit Lage. And Urborg coming down. Did not see which land Jeff had access to on the first turn. It's possible that he could have had a turn 2 2020 and losing Urborg and the Dark Depths. One of the stronger openings for the deck is turn 1 Thoughtseize off of Urborg, turn 2 Dark Depths cast Vampire Hexmage. There's a Pithing Needle, and that's going to force the Deathrite Shaman to fire off one more time. A Kolgan's Command is going to keep that Deathrite Shaman active, blow up the artifact, and discard a card. And a hard cast Elvish Spirit Guide, not where Turbo Depths wants to be at all. Liliana drinking. And a main deck Liliana of the Last Hopes. He does a ton of work. And it looks like Vampire Hexmage coming out. This time just to kill the Lily. And that Elvish Spirit Guide really trying to play defense. Trying to stack up favorably against that Snapcaster Mage. Or not favorably, just parity. This block and trade still would be a 3-turn clock off of that Deathrite Shaman, which is problematic. Meaning you really only have 2 turns to get your 2020 together. Even if he does get the 2020, Deathrite could possibly pull out of range by gaining life. So Deathrite, a real problem here. And that's going to cause the end of game 1. Czech Pile taking it down. Seeing Caracas, Abrupt Decays, Pithing Needles, Thorn of Amethyst. A lot of possibilities here for Jeff. Turbo Depths, really an underrated deck in the format. I believe people kind of compare it to lands. I suppose it makes some sense for people to do that in their heads to kind of contrast it with lands, but they're very, very different decks. It'd almost be like, comparing Storm and Czech Pile and being like, well, one of them is faster than the other, or one of them is more resilient and therefore they're superior. I mean, these lists are significantly different, both in their speed and in the effectiveness of protecting the 2020. Turbo Depths has the ability to just win the game on the spot with the 2020, whereas lands is more of an end step, make a 2020, and then untap and swing. They also have Not of This World to protect it from effects like Caracas. So Turbo Depths is just much more all in on that approach. That looks like an Imperial Seal. Not sure what that was. Jeff taking a mull. Turbo Depths not the best at mulliganing. You do need a bunch of things to come together, and generally want it to happen pretty quickly. Pile mulliganing as well. Couple of 6-card hands here. I'll go into 5. We've got a Scry. Jeff. Gonna bottom his as well. And lead off with Urborg into Duress. See him to Torok. Gurmag Angler, Brainstorm. Might be tempting to take the Brainstorm as it does shut off the Force of Will. Looks like he's not going to be worried about counter magic here. Using his fetch land. Getting Bayou. And Brainstorm from Kyle. Gonna need Dark Depths and Vampire Hexmage. Or Thespian Stage. Dark Depths, the key component here. Really everything Dark Depths wants, everything Turbo Depths wants to be doing. Crop rotation not as strong. Facing down Force of Will. I'm not actually sure what's going on here. Did he ponder there? Is he shuffling from a fetch land or from a... Oh, wow. All right, so looks like he actually resolved Brainstorm as if it were ponder. So he looked at 3, shuffled them in, went to go draw a card. And I'm pretty sure the ruling on that would be he's just not going to draw a card now. A Duress meets Flusterstorm. There's a Caracas. Jeff with all sorts of mana here. Another Duress. This one can finally take the Force, or looks like Diabolic Edict. Masters 25 version. That is a card that that reprint kept the value way down. I feel like it was primed to eventually be worth something, but Diabolic Edict, for as good a card as it's been, for as long as it's been good, still really not worth anything. Masters 25 reprint, definitely not going to change that. In terms of moving the value up. And it looks like perhaps a Sylvan Safekeeper. Deathrite Shaman gets Abrupt Decayed. And Turbo Depths here, not showing a lot of turbo. Beating down with the Sylvan Safekeeper. It looks like it may have a Mishra's Factory over there. Snapcaster, Brainstorm, Flashback, 2 cards going there. Looks like a Force of Will acquired. Another Lotus Petal. And now Baleful Strix. Brainstorm from pile. Just a ton of goodness here. Fetch land to shuffle away that Force that I believe ended up on top if he doesn't need it. And there's a Thoughtseize. Gonna see just a solid hand here. Snapcaster, Baleful Strix. Each one of those represents 2 cards. Go ahead and take the Snapcaster, leaving double Force. Another Baleful Strix. Speeding up the clock significantly through the air. And there's a Thespian stage. Now those Baleful Strix are actually going to be kind of a pain for the Dark Depths token. The Merit Lage itself doesn't have trample, so both of those Baleful Strix are going to be able to stand in the way of a 20/20 if one does arrive. Meaning Deathrite Shaman now is a legitimate problem. And there's the Dark Depths. We'll see if this can actually, how this is going to play out. It looks like the 20/20 can show up, but Kyle can actually continue doing damage through the air. And on the ground. I mean, this is a really interesting board state. That Factory can hold off the Snapcaster, Deathrite Shaman, and another Baleful Strix. This just got more complicated. The Deathrite Shaman can drain Jeff repeatedly during the end step. Kyle's at 15, so he'd need 3 activations to get outside of the range of the Merit Lage. He'd actually be happy to get another Deathrite down now. That would be really good. This clock is very interesting. We're going to see a 20/20. And, of course, it's indestructible, so the Death Touch here not going to matter. Pithing Needle. That might have been worth Force of Willing. May have an answer for it already. Looks like it should just be the Merit Lage coming in here. Prop rotation. That gets Force of Will pitching Force. And Lightning Bolt pushes Jeff within lethal range here. We're going to be able to see Baleful Strix puts him to 3. Next turn, it's going to be Deathrite plus the swing. There's a Thespian stage. And he has to pump the brakes here. Jeff keeping himself alive for one more draw. He needs probably Shijiri's Step to give it protection. Oh, but Pithing Needle's on board. He didn't have an answer to it. He let it resolve and he didn't have an answer to it. Wow. Two coming in. Gonna block. Snapcaster Bolt, that'll do it. So very interesting game state. Lots of other things could have happened there. Those Thespian stage could have become copies of factories and really complicated the game state. But instead, eventually, Snapcaster coming down, grabbing that Bolt, and finishing things off in a rather unorthodox game. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.